Good day, everyone. Here we are, a week after the election, in an American society that's deeply divided. Somehow we must heal this divide and work together for the common good. I'm always amazed at how our artists, poets, writers, through literature and music, capture the pulse of our lives, our searching, our groaning, our wondering, our questioning, our doubting, our confusion, and our sadness. These have been very difficult days. So much polarization, sectarianism, and distrust. It takes me back to the rock band U2 in what some consider the greatest album of all time, entitled The Joshua Tree. According to legend, early settlers named the plant after the Old Testament prophet Joshua. The tree's stretching branches reminded them of Joshua raising his hands in prayer. Bono chose this title because the tree somehow survives in the desert. Well, in many ways, we are having a desert experience, and our challenge is to be as the Joshua tree, reaching out our arms in prayer to quench our spiritual thirst, our longing, and our searching. One of the songs of the album is entitled, "I Still Haven't Found What I Am Looking For." Our world and our nation seems confused as to what we are looking for. And I wonder if we're looking in the wrong place at times. Maybe we are depending too much on ourselves and not enough on God's grace. The album, The Joshua Tree, is steeped in religious imagery which calls us to resilience in the face of social and political chaos. From the book of Joshua itself, we hear, "Be strong and be courageous. You shall put this people in possession of the land I swore to their ancestors to give them." And then Joshua says, "Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged." Well, just like this Joshua tree, our thirst can be quenched if we get beyond our own egos and individualism, and if we reach out to God and to each other. Bono was influenced by the Jesuit concept of consolation and desolation when writing the songs for this album. Now, a person dwells in a state of consolation when she or he is moving towards God's active presence in the world. And we know we are moving in this way when we sense the growth of love or faith or mercy or hope, or any qualities we know as gifts of the Holy Spirit. If I am becoming more and more kind with people, and I experience this movement as life-giving and Christ-like, then I am in a state of consolation. Whereas a person dwells in a state of desolation when she or he is moving away from God's active presence in the world. We know we are moving in this way when we sense the growth of resentment, ingratitude, selfishness, doubt, fear, and so on. If my outlook becomes increasingly gloomy and self-obsessed, I am in a state of desolation. I am resisting God, or if not actively resisting, I am being led away from God by other influences. I wonder if that isn't our challenge these very painful days, to move from desolation to consolation, to raise our arms like the Joshua tree, to the God who can quench our thirst in the desert that we are living through at this time in history. I still haven't found what I am looking for. That is so true of so many. We are sad these days. We thought that America was the promised land, but we have to face the real America that's divided and angry and violent right now. Throughout this album, The Joshua Tree, we are confronted with the desolation of a deserted, immense, timeless landscape, and with a nation of progress and oppressors in a place where dreams and violence coexist. The physical desolation of the desert is also related to the desert of the soul and the desert of our love, which can find its restoration in the spiritual triumph of this small, solitary tree, itself apparently lost in the vastness of a hostile territory. This tree can survive very harsh conditions. It can live without water. Its branches are a cry for hope, reaching out like a form of prayer. So thus, as the album unfolds, the void of the desert is invested with a mixture of spiritual relief. We are crying for the same things. As the Joshua tree grows in fiercely adverse conditions, it is a symbol of faith and hope in the midst of aridity. It's a symbol for us these days. Bono, in a 1987 interview, stated that he dedicated one of the songs, called In God's Country, to the Statue of Liberty, about the dream of America. And he asked, where are the dreamers? Where are those who will rise to the challenge? Well, we obviously need new dreamers today. We need a lot of new prayers also, reaching out our arms high in the sky to this God. So let us seriously look at ourselves as we struggle to move from desolation to consolation, raising our arms in prayer, confident that we can survive this desert experience and put off the old and put on the new. To, as Joshua says in the book of Joshua, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. We can heal. We can come together as a people for the common good. Peace to all. Let us continue to pray for each other, to keep each other safe and healthy during this pandemic crisis, but also let us continue to pray that our nation will be healed. Have a good week, everyone.